Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to the channel again. So I got a lot of questions about which virtual machine software I'm using on Arch Linux, and that's called KVM, or the kernel-based virtual machine. And this is a software which uses the kernel built-in virtualization, so let's have a look at it. So before we proceed by installing KVM, you might want to make sure that the virtualization is enabled in your PC BIOS. Many PC vendors, they deactivate this option in the BIOS, so if it's not active in your case, you should go into the BIOS and activate this first before we can proceed with the installation. So the advantage of using KVM is that the virtualization module is already built into the Linux kernel. And so once we have the packages installed, we will have a better response and a better performance using virtual machines. So let's proceed by installing the packages we need. So we'll type in sudo pacman-s. So the first package is virt-manager, which is a front-end GUI for KVM. Then we can install QEMU, which is the basic package. Then if you want to be able to install also on other architectures, we can install also QEMU-arch-extra. Then if you want to be able also to have virtual machines based on UEFI, you need to install also OVMF. Then a small networking tool is VDE2, and some other networking packages. One is EBtables. Then we have DNS mask. Then we have also bridge-utils. And also open BSD-netcat. And then we can just hit enter. Enter our sudo password and hit enter again. And here we are installing all the dependencies needed. And we can see also here libvirt is also one of them. And this is the service needed to run KVM. So we can just proceed with installation here by hitting enter. It's going to take a moment to download and install the packages. So I'll be back when it's done. So the packages are installed. Let's clean up the terminal. So now we need to enable libvirt service. So let's type in sudo systemctl enable libvirtd.service and hit enter. And now we can start the service by typing in sudo systemctl start libvirtd.service and hit enter. There you go. So if we look now in the programs menu here and we'll type in virtual machine, we can see here we have our virtual machine manager. However, there is still one step we need to do in order to use bridge networking, and that is to create a new bridge interface. So let's go back to the terminal here and clean it up. So we need to now create a new bridge. So let's type in sudo nano, and I'll call my bridge br10.xml and hit enter. Now we need to paste in a text here, which I prepared already. So let me pull this up and I'll copy the text here and minimize the window and paste it into the terminal. And now we can just hit Ctrl O and enter to save the file and Ctrl X to exit the editor. Now we need to define the bridge. So we'll type in sudo virsh net-define and then our bridge name. So br10.xml and hit enter. Now we need to start a bridge network. So we'll type in sudo virsh net-start and then the name of the interface. So br10 without the XML part and hit enter. And now we need to auto start br10 so that it boots up when we start the machine. So we'll type in sudo virsh net-auto start and then our bridge name. So br10 and hit enter. So we can now start up virtual machine. So let's go here and type in virtual machine manager. There you go. We can enter our password. And now we're ready to create a new virtual machine. So we can click on new here. And then we can choose whether we want to install from ISO or CD-ROM, network install, and so on. And we can also choose more architectures here. But I'm going to go with the standard x86, so I'll just click forward. And I want to select my ISO here, which I downloaded already. So I'll click Browse, and I'll go to Downloads here. If you don't see this, you can just click Browse Local to search for your ISO. Then I click my ISO and click Choose Volume. And it's already recognized as Arch Linux, and then click Forward. You can define the size of the RAM and the CPUs here and click forward, and also the size of the disk. I'll accept the defaults here and just click forward. Now here we see a summary of our settings, and I still want to customize some things, so I'll click here. And for network selection, we'll select the bridge we just created, which is the first one here, and click finish. Now I want to have a UEFI system here, so under firmware I go to BIOS and then UEFI and click apply. Now I need to enable the boot options here, so I enable the boot menu and also the CD-ROM, and I'll move it on top and click apply. And then I'll change the video adapter here by clicking on the arrow here and selecting Virtuo and enabling 3D acceleration and click apply. And now we can begin the installation by click begin installation. And here we can go also full screen if we want to, or we can just enlarge the size of the window. And now we can proceed with our Arch installation. So we could select the first option here and hit enter. And we are now logged in here and we can proceed with our Arch installation. So let's explore the options we have here. So as you can see here, we selected the view option so we can see the virtual machine. We can also go back to the machine settings, which is here under the eye. To change some of these, of course, we need to shut down the machine. The gray icon here means the machine is running, and you can see also from here, we can also pause the virtual machine, or we can also shut it down from here, or by clicking the arrow here, we can also reboot it, force reset, force off, or also we can save the state of the machine. And then we have the last option here, which is the snapshot capabilities of the virtual machine. So if we click on this button here, and we click on plus, we can basically make a snapshot of our machine here. And we can switch back and forth with snapshots when we take them. So this is a very nice and handy feature. So let me click cancel here. We could also close this window, for example, and the machine is still running here behind. So we can always click open here and see it again. So we can go back to the viewer, for example, our machine is still there. So let me close this up. And let's have a look shortly here at the edit menu, because here we can see the connection details and the virtual machine details as well. So we can go to connection details, for example. And here we see, for example, our virtual networks. This is the one we created before, and this is a default one, which is always there. However, in certain configuration, this will not work. And that's the reason why I created my own bridge, so that it doesn't interfere with the default network of your computer. Under overview, we see a short overview of CPU usage and memory usage. And under storage, we see the storage pools of our virtual machine. So we can close the window up here, and we can explore also shortly here the preferences. So we can enable the system tray icon here, from where Virtual Machine Manager is always here available. We can also enable XML editing if you want to change some things manually. We can also go to polling here and change its settings. Also, we have preference for new VMs. For example, if you don't want to change every time the graphics type, you can choose the system default here, and so on also for other defaults. We have also preferences for the console, for the scaling and other settings. And the last option here under feedback, if you want to have confirmations before doing certain actions. So we can close this up, and let's go back here to our virtual machine and type in power off and hit enter. And now we can close the machine up. Now let's add a disk and another CD-ROM to the machine. So let's double click on the machine here, and we go to information, and let's click add hardware, and let's add a new storage disk here. So storage is already selected. So let's say that we put in another 20 gigabytes hard drive, and we can choose here the disk device type. For example, it's a disk device in this case, and the bus type. So in this case is VirtIO. But we could choose also SATA, for example. Let's go for SATA this time, and we can click Finish. And now we have our SATA disk here, which will appear also in the virtual machine. And we could also add more hardware. For example, let's click again, add hardware here. And as a storage, we'll add this time a CD-ROM, for example. Bus type, it's also SATA. So let's leave this as it is and click Finish. And we have also another CD-ROM here. So we can always choose here in our boot options which CD-ROM we want to, for example, start from. So if we don't want to start from CD-ROM 1, for example, we can click on CD-ROM 2 and put it on top. And if you have an ISO in there, it will boot from CD-ROM 2. So we can click apply. And one last thing is keep in mind when you choose your system at the beginning of the installation. Now we chose, for example, here UEFI, you will not be able to change this. So you cannot switch from UEFI to BIOS or vice versa. You will have to create a new machine. So we can close this up and close Virtual Machine Manager. And so this is a quick overview on how you can install Virtual Machine Manager on Arch Linux.
There you go, this is how you can install KVM on Arch Linux. It's a great software and it offers great performance and especially on Linux distributions. If you want to install Windows on KVM, it's possible, although it requires some extra packages and some extra tweaking. So if you are interested in that, let me know. I hope you liked the video, guys. If you did, please hit the like button below and subs to the channel if you haven't already. Subs always helps us out. And if you want to support the channel, you can visit our Patreon website, or you can also donate via PayPal through our website as well. Thank you so much for watching, guys. If you have any question, please let me know in the comments below, and I'll see you in the next video.